Graham, we've been seeing some footage of Animal Kingdom on the gallops. All seems to be going well. Are you happy with his progress so far?
I am. I mean, it's gone pretty smoothly. It took him 3 or 4 weeks to adjust to the gallops over here. It's very different from what he's used to at home, but by and large it's gone well. He did his last piece of work yesterday up the long in Lambourne, and that went well. I was very pleased.
And he's used to travelling, been to Dubai of course. Has it taken him longer to settle into the UK than it did to Dubai?
I don't know if settle in is the word I'd use. It's just taken him longer to perhaps adjust to the training. It's so different from what we do at home. At home we train on an oval. It's a flat oval, about a mile round, whereas here he's galloping a mile up a steady incline. So it's very different. But once he got the hang of it, once he first did a bit of work, he really picked up on it, and he's gotten much more aggressive in his training.
And he was certainly impressive in the World Cup. Were you surprised by quite how impressive he was that day?
I don't think surprised. I really felt I would have been disappointed if he hadn't been right there, quite frankly. I felt like he's that good a horse. I've never had a horse this good before, and I doubt I ever will again. So, certainly we expect him to be competitive. Was I surprised he won that easily? Perhaps.
The Derby winner, Animal Kingdom in front with 200 metres left to go. Red Cadeau on the inside starting to flash home. Will he have time? Animal Kingdom leads. Animal Kingdom 3 lengths in front of Red Cadeau, and Animal Kingdom wins the Dubai World Cup.
He's trod an unusual path throughout his career to date. First run on dirt was in the Kentucky Derby, ran in the Breeders' Cup Mile after a long layoff. What made you think to go to Royal Ascot? Where did that plan come about?
Barry and I talked about this probably about a year ago, about the idea of coming here. But in racing it's so often that these plans don't come to fruition. It's very unusual for things to have gone without a hitch and to get here. So I feel very fortunate to be here. Quite frankly, after Dubai, that could have been his last race. It would have been easy to retire him then. So I think it's pretty game with John and Barry to bring him over here to Royal Ascot.
And his biggest wins have been over further. Why drop him back to a mile?
If we'd been running in the States this summer, we probably would have been running over a mile and a furlong, which I think on a firm, flat surface would be very comparable to what he's going to have to do on Tuesday. So, this horse, he has a tremendous turn of foot. I don't think a mile will be a problem for him. He handled it in the Breeders' Cup.
And in terms of the track, he had a spin round Ascot before. Was that quite beneficial for him?
It was. It certainly was for me anyway. It sort of was just nice to see him handle it. He handled the soft ground very well, which was encouraging. It looks unlikely that the ground will be soft, but you never know. The weather seems so unpredictable over here that anything could happen. I would prefer the ground was good or good to firm. I think it's one less thing to throw at him perhaps, but we'll take it as it comes.
And did the track hold any concerns for you before you saw it? Just the fact it's a straight mile, it's undulating, it's quite different to what he's been racing on.
I think ultimately I felt that the straight mile was perhaps going to be easier for him to deal with than in the Prince of Wales, going a mile and a quarter and going right-handed. I thought that might be a harder adjustment for him.
And in terms of opposition to him in the Queen Anne, are there any horses you're particularly mindful of?
I haven't studied them real closely. I know he's been shortened in the odds today. He's a short favourite, but that always makes me somewhat worried. I mean, there are some very nice horses in there. It won't be easy for him, but I hope he's up to it.
And John Velazquez takes the ride. Was that your decision?
It was a group decision. We talked about it a lot. There were 3 options. We could stick with Joel, who won in Dubai on him, but he'd never ridden at Royal Ascot. We could have used a jockey over here, but I was not comfortable putting another jockey on him. He's had a lot of jockeys in his career. For a good horse, I think it's pretty unusual. And the fact that Johnny had won at Royal Ascot and he'd ridden Animal Kingdom, I think it made a lot of sense. It was really a no-brainer to me.
And win or lose, is the plan to retire Animal Kingdom after Tuesday?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, the Australian breeding season starts in September, and he's already booked some mares, so I think it's more than likely this will be his swan song.